mental health is a serious issue right now, and it was just on our hearts to bring Greg Alexander back from episode one. Um, and on a whim, like we just planned this last week. Yours truly forgot to promote it ahead of time, so I'm sorry if you're seeing this just now in your feed, but I'm grateful if you're here for the replay. Greg is the founder of Mental Health Verification Technologies, Safe Connect ID, which helps people with mental health issues to save their dignity and their lives. And now we're coming on today to tell you about how counselorconnect.com helps you to find a counselor that fits your needs fast and privately. And if you are a licensed professional that's needing to grow your practice, you can list your practice on this site, and we connect people that need mental health with the mental health professionals and the mental health professionals with the people that need them. Greg,
Hmm.
tell me why this matters and how people can get access and support.
Well, I came up with the idea of Crisis Connect Alliance
Mm,
Incorporated because so many, the research has shown that so many people need mental health help, and there's financial barriers there
yeah,
that prevent them from getting the help they need.
yeah,
So I started Crisis Connect Alliance in order to help remove some of those financial barriers. And people can go to Crisis or Counselor Connect, find them a counselor that they like, and then we'll pay the counselor directly for so
wow,
many for so many sessions.
wow,
It's kind of like sometimes places of work offer EAPs. Where you can call in, and it's
yeah,
an employment assistant program, and
yeah,
they'll give you like 3 or 4, 5 sessions. Well, not everybody has that, and I want to be able to offer something like that for people that don't have that or can't afford it, so that they can have somebody to talk to. I
man,
don't care if
that's
it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I am trying to push Counselor to Connect to be 24 hours a day. Why
wow.
not? We walk into an emergency room at 3 in the morning when we're having problems. If we're sitting in a room at 3 o'clock in the morning contemplating something or
Hmm.
thinking about something, I want them to be able to go online and say, "Hey, I have somebody to talk to," and not just dial 988. I'm
Mm,
glad that 988 is there.
yeah,
However, some people already hear voices in their head. So, what is another voice from 988 going to be in their head? We want to be able to see people's expressions, the emotions. Talking face to face creates that connection.
yeah, yeah. And it's in the name, Counselor Connect. I mean, the pandemic separated us all and put us all in this. I mean, even if you weren't introverted, you almost had to be because it was social distancing. And then, we're incredibly adaptive creatures, and so uh, we kind of built this habit loop of being disconnected with people, and that's
Mm-hmm.
led to a lot of mental health. I lost a lot of friends in COVID, not from COVID, but from unaliving themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, when do we address the elephant in the room that everyone is struggling, and most of them are doing it silently because we've been told don't self-destruct in public your whole life. Like, we grew up in a time where we knew what it was like before all of this connectedness, all of these phones and social media and always on culture.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not meant for this much connection, this much always on, this much, information and opinions, and people can immediately tell you how much they either love or hate you, and not everyone can handle that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't even know. There's two questions I have. One, what's 988? But before we get to that, why you? Right? Why I didn't mention it, but I know there's a heart, there's a passion behind this as to why you started this, and there's things you've seen, and there's a reason why this and why now.
Well, there's several. To go back to answer your second question.
Yeah.
Um, you know, there's a mission behind this. I've lost several people to mental health,
Mm.
especially one last year. I lost a loved one to a self-inflicted gunshot.
Mm.
Um, and, no matter what we did to help her, you know, it just wasn't enough. I don't guess because um, she decided to crawl into a closet, cover herself up, and unalive herself. And and we didn't find out. I mean, nobody found her for 2 weeks.
Wow. Man, that is horrible, Greg.
And so, working those types, as a law enforcement officer, I've worked homicide, and I've been on many calls, where people have unalived themselves in a way that, you know, where was the help? Where was the people? Where was the connection? Where was the phone call?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, mental health is derived from several aspects. I mean, you have drug-induced mental health, you have social mental health, you have work mental health. I mean, you have so many different compartments of mental health.
Mm.
Um, it's just getting that right connection so that you can unload, basically. It we go to the doctor for physical aspects of our life. It's okay to go to a mental health specialist to talk about stuff in your head. It's okay.
Yeah.
We have to do it. If just like we have to go to the doctor to get our checkups once a year to know what's going on in our bodies, we need to go to a counselor to talk about what's going on in our head.
Yeah.
It's,
Not
so
everyone has, support groups or 12-step programs, or, there's not a community for everyone. And even if there is a community for everyone, sometimes you don't want to be meeting virtually via Zoom. Like, I can fake whatever on Zoom. I can read a script, right? And like there's like so many things, that nuances and energies that you can't read virtually. So would you say that there's still like a stigma behind mental health and people getting help or people reaching out? Do you still see that?
I do. I feel like that if they start, talking about it or I feel like that they're going to get blamed for something,
Hmm.
or they're going to be labeled,
Hmm.
and we need to do away with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we are so distracted in today's times,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
that it's almost. I mean, sometimes I come into my office and I'm like, what do I do next? Because I've got so much going on
Hmm.
that day,
Yeah.
and it, it it's it's uh it's tough when you don't have. We're not designed to be alone.
No.
We're not designed to be um, without some connection,
Yeah.
whether
No,
it's a
not at
friend,
all.
whether it's a loved one, whether it's, we thrive in social environments.
Yeah. And it is not good for man to be alone. So how how does this work? Like, step by step, walk me through. I get to counselorconnect.com. What do I do? How does this help?
Okay. Counselor Connect it's basically, I'm going to do an all call. Okay. I'm going to call all counselors, uh, licensed therapists, inpatient, outpatient care facilities, psychiatrists. What you're going to do is you're going to go on and you're going to create a profile, and you're going to advertise yourself just like you would in any other publication. However, we're a little different. Not only can you do virtual appointments with people, you can um, do appointments. Uh, you can connect with your client. You can the clients can really narrow their search on what type of counselor that they would like to see. You can also put a video of your practice on
Wow.
there as well to kind of really let people know what you're all about and who you really are as a counselor, as a licensed mental health professional. Um, and then you also have access to the National Mental Health Information Center, which, with consent, allows you to pull prior mental health records of your client. So essentially, let's say you have a client that is living in another state and they're moving to another state, um, and they're all on the same platform. Well, they can share that information through the database, and then the client won't have to retell their story again, or
Hmm.
retell their story to every counselor that's on our platform.
That is so needed in every area where you have to apply for something. Just having to repeat yourself over and over again in the application process. And then at the end of it all, they're like asking you the exact same question in person. And it's like, did you read? What was the point in me putting all that in there? Or like when you call someone and you get put on hold
Mm-hmm.
and you've already expressed your entire thing to the first person that answered the phone, right? The first
Mm-hmm.
human you got. And then they're like, I understand. That's great. I'm going to get you connected with the person. Then they don't relay that information. They just drop you off. So, yes, the
Well,
fact that,
think about it from this aspect. What if a sexual assault survivor is seeing a counselor for their traumatic experience, and they have to keep retelling that
oh
story?
my
Every time they're
gosh.
retelling that story, they're reliving it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
somebody with PTSD having to tell that story, they're reliving it. Well, that's what we want to try to avoid. We want to avoid any kind of um, walls, or what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
Barriers.
yeah, thank you. Barriers in their healing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because having to relive it, like your mind can't tell the difference between a story, an imagined reality, or what's happening right now. If it comes out of your mouth, it is going to feel whatever it is. And if, for example, when I was applying for my security clearance with the government, I had to relive a lot of my past unnecessarily just so they had everything on me so that no one could ever blackmail me. And that was traumatic. Like I had just started this job and I'm trying to focus and I'm having to relive my ex-wife and relive, the fact that I didn't have a father, and just because I had connected with them recently,
Mm-hmm.
I had to put them on that paper and they had to call them, and the government's calling my family that I just met and they're calling like my doctor, and everyone's worried. They're like, "Uh-oh, FBI is looking for Gregory. Like what's going on, right?" And it's questionable for me, but like yes, it's very traumatic to have to relive it. Like how how do we remove that barrier to entry and make the experience really, because it's about the user experience. How does Counselor Connect focus on that experience for people? I mean, we saw the website. I
Well,
just shared it a minute ago, and it looks amazing. It looks
we
simple.
we want the person to move towards more healing than it is to try to find a counselor. You know, we don't want a person to go to find different counselors on the site,
Hmm.
and have to retell their story, or to that counselor. I mean, you're right. Seeing a counselor is almost like a is this a good fit kind of process.
It's like dating.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I get.
I'm
You
about
get
to.
pretty intimate with your counselor. They tell you things. Uh, they tell you things that you don't always. You know, expect. You're not expecting. It's the unexpected in
Yeah.
counseling sessions.
Yeah. I mean, counseling is probably one of the best things I ever did. Like working the 12 steps was great. It's a form of therapy, but it's just one aspect of a full spectrum. And
Mhm.
working through your stuff with someone you trust is great, but working through your stuff with someone that's trained on how to do that, um, I'll never forget the counselor I worked with was a former police officer, and he was hard, right? And I need hard sometimes. Sometimes I just need someone to tell me like it is because that's the only thing that snaps me out of it. I grew up in a hard environment. And so I can't hear soft and coddling and you got this and I believe in you. I
That's
don't
not
believe it.
me.
Right. I
That's
don't
not
believe
me.
it. And he listed all of the things I was complaining about in this past relationship. And he's asking me, do you see what all these things have in common? And I'm seriously, Greg, I'm leaning in. I'm like, I, I, I don't see it. And I'm really trying to connect the dots. And he throws the marker at the board and he goes, it's effing you. I was like, oh, I'm doing that to my life. And it was just it's eye opening. And then the next step was EMDR treatment, eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It's like organizing the files on your desktop so that if someone's clicking and they're trying to click on hug or love, they don't accidentally hit trauma.exe and then you blow up and you know, the reaction doesn't match the situation. And
Mhm.
so what it does is it takes all those traumatic files and it puts them in trauma folder, and it takes, childhood and puts it in this folder, and it takes relationships and puts it in this folder. And then it's just this calm, it's this peace. And I don't know if I saw that on there. You saw a specialty. I don't see EMDR on there, but is that like a part of trauma PTSD, or is that just
That would be each individual's counselor when they set up their profile. They can put
okay?
that in there.
Okay,
So we're letting counselors sign up for free right now. They
let's
can go
go.
on. Yeah, they can go on and sign up for free and give it a little bit of a test. We're looking also for feedback.
Hmm.
Um, so if you know any counselors, therapists, we're even opening a section for life coaches.
Get out of here.
Um, then let them know. Sign up on Counselor Connect. You could
Okay.
do a free profile.
Free
So
profile for life coaches, counselors. Now, the life coaches part, it seems like there's a coach for everything nowadays. So
mhm.
tell me the story of why now life coaches as well. That's interesting.
Well, because sometimes maybe somebody needs a little direction,
Yeah.
and they just need some coaching in their life, and not so much a, a therapist.
Hmm.
You know, um, I feel like that we need to open it up to, because we're all types of people need different things. We want to give them a way to work on their life,
Yeah.
and maybe they prefer a life coach and not a therapist. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to find their fit.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you say life coaches, um, what if there's like what's the word? Trauma informed coaches and recovery coaches. Like there's different coaches for different specific things that people deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all encompassed under life, or is that going to start to expand?
So the only way that they would have access to the National Mental Health Information Center and client records is if they are licensed
Mm,
social worker, a licensed therapist, a licensed psychologist, a licensed um, psychiatrist,
okay.
inpatient, outpatient facilities. Those would all only have access to things that would be considered medical
Okay.
history or
Okay.
mental health history. Your coaches, if they want to go on their life coach, they want to put a profile on there. and advertise their, what they have to offer,
Hmm.
then let's, if they can help somebody's life, like a mentor, being a
Yeah.
mentor or something like that,
Yeah.
then let's let them. I know some really good mentors, and that's really what the 16-year-old needed, and not a therapist.
Right. Someone that's been there that can walk them through it, that didn't have
Right.
to go through 8 to 10 years of school and 10,000 hours of practice to teach from theory, right?
Right.
It's like in 12-step programs. When I was going to become a licensed professional counselor, they didn't want people that weren't in recovery. They needed people that had battled with drugs and overcame it. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want, and this is a metaphor, I don't want marriage advice from someone who's never been married or who has toxic relationships, right?
Hmm.
Just like I'm not going to ask for mental health advice from someone that's taken antidepressants and, you know, it just it doesn't jive. Like, why are you qualified to help me? And then a lot of times, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it cuz that's me. A lot of times people get into therapy because they grew up in a, environment that was pretty messed up and they're trying to figure themselves out. And so how do you on here, like when they sign up, how do we know, like what are the aspects of the sign up for the counselor that kind of allow someone to get to know who that counselor is?
Well, and that's the thing. The counselor's really going to have to sell themselves, kind of like they would,
Mm,
in their own practice. We give them the tools and the opportunity by,
yeah.
they can put pictures, they can put a video of their practice on there. Um, they can, if they wanted to video themselves talking as part
Yeah.
of their intro instead of just a picture,
Yeah.
um, we give them that opportunity.
Now, when you say a video of their practice, is that like, hey guys, I'm here for you. Like, my name is so and so. I've been doing this for this many years. Like a video intro
Yeah,
or,
I specialize in this, this, and this. If you feel like this is what you need, I'd love to connect. Um, this is how you get a hold of me. Um, Fill out this information. I mean, they can really kind of walk if they want to do an intro, they could walk the potentially new client through the process just by their intro video.
yeah, yeah. And, you know, kind of that NLP suggestion. If you walk them through well enough and they feel cared for in just the intro video, you might win a client just
Exactly.
from taking care of them from the video. That's genius, man. So, let me see. I had some questions here. I want to open it up for Q&A. I don't see anybody really on watching, but if you're watching this on the replay, I'm looking over here like the camera's over here. It's here now. If you're watching this on the replay, please drop your questions, please drop your concerns, like whatever hits you. Share this with someone that if a counselor or a therapist or a life coach even, and they're needing a place to list their practice and grow their practice or their business, or someone that's in need of mental health um, support, please share this with someone that could use it. I'm gonna
Well, can I tell them about our mission with Crisis Connect Alliance?
absolutely.
So our mission with Crisis Connect Alliance is a nonprofit organization. It's dedicated to bridging the gap between public service and mental health. We connect individuals facing mental health or disability challenges with qualified counselors, remove financial barriers to care, and promote compassionate response by first responders and communities. The vision that I see is to build a national network of compassionate providers where mental health challenges are met with understanding, access, and support, not stigma or neglect.
Mm,
That's my vision.
mm. It's a beautiful vision.
I
Very
want to do
beautiful.
more than just talk about it. I
Yeah.
want to put actions into words,
Let's go.
or
Let's
words
go.
into action.
Words into action. I got you, man. I was like, actions into words. All right. Let's stop being about it and talk about it. No. Um, So if anybody watching right now has a question about this, or if you know, someone that is a counselor or someone that could use the help, I don't know. Is that appropriate? Like, hey, I'm gonna tag my friend who's mentally ill in this video. Like, you don't do that, right? Nobody does
Well,
that.
let's change the look. Let's change a little bit of the atmosphere. About instead of referring to mental ill or anything like that, let's look at it as if you need somebody to talk to.
Mm,
Sometimes we just get your mind checked out for a yearly mind check.
mm. Oh yeah. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
yearly physical. You know,
Yeah.
I keep saying mentally ill like I'm not one.
Well, we've all kind of, you know, it's kind of interesting because as a counselor, I mean, I've had cancer, so I can help somebody with
Oh
cancer.
wow. Yeah.
As a police officer, I can help some people with different traumas.
Mm,
Um, especially that work in the first responder area.
yeah.
Um, I've been through a divorce,
Mm.
so I can help somebody through divorce.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and and then I can help somebody that has what they call a blended family, because that's
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at now. And there's just I've been equipped. Very thankful to God that He equipped me to be able to pass this information to other people that are facing challenges. I'm facing one right now because I have you know I have I'm in, I'm dealing with a disability right now,
Yeah.
and so that's challenging.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, finding people that have dealt with that before, from a caregiver or a spouse, is crucial into
Yeah.
navigating challenges like that.
Yeah. And
So,
finding someone to talk to about it that's not just going to tell you, you know, you're okay, or you just simply do this. Like, they're not offering solutions. They're actually there and they've been through it.
mhm.
Um, what I was gonna ask you this because I know as an officer you have you mentioned some of the things you've seen, but are there any stories that you can share with us that, like, what was that moment that you saw this and thought, I need to do something?
Well, yeah, I think I'll tell you a story from my first call. Okay,
Hmm.
I'll tell you my first call. That whenever I became an officer, they basically threw me a uniform and put me in a car with very minimal training. All right, so my first call was a man with a gun call, and so I'm headed over there, and I'm just thinking, man, and I'm really sucking the seat cover up really really hard because I am scared. You know, I
Wow.
I haven't even been through the academy yet. This is before they make you go to the academy now, before you can even get on the streets.
Wow.
Before they used to let you work for, I think it was 6 months. Within the 6 month period, you had to attend the academy. So anyway, I went to this call, and I'm looking around the corner, and I'm looking for a man with a gun, but I see a man making a noose. And I'm like, okay. And I step out, and the guy puts a noose around his neck,
What?
and he's on a kind of a platform, and he's about to walk off of it. And I just happen to get my hand between the rope and his larynx, or his Adam's apple area. And he was screaming at me, "Get off of me, get off of me," spitting in my face. And I was like, I'm thinking nobody is going to die on my first night as an officer. And so he reaches in his pocket, and the first thing that comes to mind was like, oh, he's getting a gun.
Wow.
So I step back, and I get ready to draw, and that rope sucks up around his neck, and the adrenaline kicked in, and I was able to get him down, and I got him into handcuffs, and I ended up doing an emergency order detention on him, meaning I took him to a mental health facility because
Wow, man.
because he needed help. Jail wasn't. He didn't do anything wrong to go to jail. He was making some bad decisions about ending his life, so he needed
Yeah.
help mentally.
Dude, that's crazy. And here we are thinking, like a lot of people, just because of how social media puts it up there, think all officers are just bad. But you're human. We're all human. We still have that automatic response. Like if he if the adrenaline kicked in and you weren't who you were, or you didn't have, like, that moment could have been so much different, right? You could have
Mhm.
shot him because you thought he was going to shoot you. It's like kill or be killed. But you were
Because we
able
already have
to.
that. We already have that he has a gun in the But
Right.
the funny thing is, I went on to deal with that guy on multiple occasions. Okay, and what the very last he he was coming around a corner drunk and he hit a what do you call it, one of those railroad crossing signs,
Oh wow.
and it nearly killed him. And it probably, I don't know how many months later, I was at the grocery store getting groceries, and I saw him coming to approach me. And I thought, oh no. And you get that feeling like here you got somebody that's fixing to try to hurt you.
Yeah.
And what was my response was I was reaching behind to get my hand on my gun,
Yeah.
and the guy stuck out his hand and wanted to shake my hand for all the times that I had dealt with him and not killed him, because at one time he wanted to die suicide by cop, and we didn't end up shooting him. So there there was a lot of situations there, and for the final one for him to hold out his hand and say, "I want to shake your hand and thank you," was like, you don't expect that.
No, and you also don't expect officers to, there's just so many horror stories. There's people that have dealt with them. Not all cops are built the same, right? So
Right.
I almost got shot by cops while I was Ubering for asking a question in Arlington. I was like, what is happening right now? And you don't expect a officer to be the person you can talk to, or to be the person that, stands in the gap for those people. And so just the evolution of that story from like your very first day to what was the gap between then and the shaking of the hand, like in years, months?
Probably 3 years.
Wow.
I mean,
Eh,
but it got to the point where you got to know your people. Like he at one point, he would do things where you could just go out and say, "Hey, you need to go home,"
yeah.
and then he would go home. It's just like it's important for officers to get to know their area, because the more they know their area, like their beat, we
Yeah.
call it their beat, the more that they can really you know have a connection with the people they serve.
Mm, wow. I love that you said serve. It says to protect and serve. And you're taking it a step further, right? You funded this whole venture with your own money because of what you saw. And Crisis Connect Alliance, it's not just to connect in the crisis, it's the Safe Connect ID, it's Counselor Connect, it's mental health verification technologies. Like there's so many layers to this because so many people are dealing with mental health. And I know there's other stories. I'm so curious. Like I love the story aspect of it because that's what's relatable, right? And I'm sure these people that are watching right now, they have stories as well of loved ones or friends or family or coworkers, right? That are dealing with something that no one knows about, and they don't know who to talk to, right? And also there are times where you get to a place in your life where you can't just talk to anyone about everything. And so you need a counselor because you can't just go tell someone,
If you
you
tell
know?
your if you tell your friend, you can say there wouldn't be any judgment there, but there would be some judgment.
Yeah, right,
You know,
right.
I'm sorry, but the human mind would be like, oh, okay, well, I can't associate with that, or I don't agree with that. So, but counselors are meant to take that and put it in a closet where it doesn't. It allows you to take it out of your closet and put it into their closet.
Mm, I never thought about it that way.
Because we have so much in our closets that we don't want other people to see or
Right.
know about.
And there's a limit too, right? Because there's specifically in the contracts, like the HIPAA contracts, if you're harming yourself or someone else or a child, like they're gonna tell
We
someone.
have to, we have to, we have to tell. We have
Yeah,
to make a report on that.
yeah.
And that's really common sense, because if you're going to hurt yourself, we don't want you to hurt yourself. If you're going to hurt a child or you're hurting a child, we sure don't want that to happen either.
Right, right.
So we're going to take steps to protect our children, and we're going to take steps to protect protect people.
Is there an age range on this? Like Counselor Connect, if I'm 11 and I need help and I need to tell someone, could they put start your search and get the help they need to, or do they have to be 18?
Um, well, since different states have different laws that tell you that you're, the age of an adulthood, like, um, you have to be at least at an age where you can, because the parents have to have consent when you're a minor.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm not going to get on here and just tell the kids, go, no, go on there, don't take, no, I'm not that way. We need a revival of parents. We need a revival of that interaction for our kids now.
Yeah, the village that raises the child, right?
Right.
Nowadays we're so divided on don't tell me how to raise my kid. Don't touch my kid. Don't talk to my kid that way. And it's like, it shows. Just saying. No judgment. It just, every it feels like every generation does this. We go from super strict to the next generation's like, I'm not going to do that because I hated it. And then it's too lenient. And then the next generation is like, well, I want to be strict, but then they're like, I don't know. It just keeps getting softer as we go, which,
Well, I'll tell you, one of my counseling sessions I did as an intern. I had this parent come to me and say, "Look, my kid, I can't. My kids don't respect me. They don't. They don't listen to me. They don't." And I said, "Well," I said, "So what's going on?" And the first thing, they get into their story, and the word friend comes up, and I'm
mm,
like, "Quit being their friend. Be their parent."
mm,
Go into their room. Go through their room. That's your house. That's not their house.
mm,
You know, it's kind of funny because I told my kids this when they were younger. They're all adults now, but I told them, I said, I only have to provide you with food, shelter, and clothing. Everything else is optional. So if you mess up, I can take your bed, I can take your door, I can take your TV. You can sleep on the floor, and you can earn everything back as long as I'm providing food, shelter, and clothing.
yeah, man. I gotta say, I was that soft parent that didn't want them to feel any discomfort. And even if and like they were good kids. They weren't, they weren't horrible, but there were times when you wanted to take the phone away or you wanted to take the privileges away. And when you say that, it's like, yeah, it sounds good. It's like what would have happened to me, but I don't know, man. I feel like and I might be talking, there might be someone else that feels this way out there. I don't feel like I was ever really allowed to be a father. Like I had a violent or domestic violence and criminal record before I was even 21 because I started having kids so young. And like you pick the wrong person to raise kids with and it puts new challenges in that dynamic.
Mhm.
And, when you use children as pawns, going back and forth to control, like, there's all those dysfunctional things. So, like, I don't know, maybe this is a therapy session for me right now. But, it's just looking back, like, you're always going to wish you did something different. Brandy just put in the comment, what a great point. You do get to a point in life where you can't just share with everyone. She learned that her mental health thoughts hurt her friends and family, so she's on a waiting list for counseling. Counselor Connect, counselor-connect.com. Is it live and ready to go right now?
Yes, it's live, and they can sign up and they can build their profile, build out how their practice is. Yes, they can do that right now. We do verify that they are a licensed counselor, so that if they want to use the National Mental Health Information Center, they can. Otherwise, they just get to set up a they can set up a profile and do a practice, and that's
Now,
it.
is
Go
this
ahead.
just for, sorry, is this just for people that have a practice, or is this for people to find a counselor too?
This is for people to find a counselor too.
Okay, okay, because you kept saying practice, and I'm like,
Oh, it's for new clients or existing clients who want to find new counselors. It's for both people. It's for both sides of the spectrum here.
okay, okay. So she could sign up today and probably shortcut that time to get a counselor.
Yes, as long as because counselors are signing up, and I'm going to say if she can't at the moment, give it a few days or so, and hopefully there'll be more because new counselors are signing up every day.
Yeah, I have at least three in my mind right now. I'll probably just call them out on this live. Got T- Tamara Harris, Rochelle Jones, and oh goodness, her name just left my head. And then a couple of the counselors I've used. I'm, you know, placed a child for adoption about 12 years ago, and I get free counseling for life with Gladney Adoption Center. And those counselors are just, kind of coming up. And
Wait, wait, wait,
so,
wait, wait, great. Wait. You mentioned Gladney. What's your story on Gladney here?
so
Because I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you this before. I came from Gladney.
are you kidding?
No, I was adopted out of Gladney.
I'm probably one of the only males that they had at that point 12 years ago. It's not many males that end up placing a child for adoption. But I was there with her through the whole thing because I was trying to be supportive and potentially work something out later down the line, or maybe talk her off the ledge, right? And um I once I saw that the family had tried like 8 different times to have a child, and their friends would always promise them that they'd give them their child, and then in the delivery room hormones kicked in. And
Mm-hmm.
so her mom had said that, before we even had the decision or got the chance to make the decision on what we were going to do, she said, we're giving this child up for adoption. And it was because the last one, her mom and her sister ended up raising him. And so they didn't want to do it again. And, so Brandy said, "Oh, precious moments." She remembers this. She was there live for it. Um, the we started going to counseling with them, and just kind of prepping us for that, and going through as parents, and they let us know what options were available to us, like tuition reimbursement, all of these things. You know what? I never used the tuition reimbursement when I went to school. That's crazy.
An
Forgot
awe
all
moment.
about it.
Awe moment.
Huh?
An awe moment.
Yeah, yeah, right? Like, holy cow. Maybe I can go get my money back and pay off these student loans.
Well, there,
No, it was an experience, man, and I love Gladney. Like, I've used the counseling.
mm-hmm.
It's really hard on the parenting side of it. Like, every time I think I'm over it and they send me new pictures. Now, was yours an open adoption or closed?
Mine was all I know. My mother was 15 when she had me.
Wow. Wow.
Um, you get a little printout about your kind. They don't tell you who your parents are. They didn't tell me. This was back in 1972.
Oh, wow.
So my mother, she was 15. I got a little bio of my dad, which I don't understand this, but he was 21. So why would a 21-year-old be messing with a 15-year-old? Um, I have six other brothers and sisters that I don't never met. That's what my bio says.
Wow.
That I've tried that 23 and Me,
Yeah.
and I did and it came back, and there was some relatives that have registered, but I tried to contact them, but I never heard a response back.
Wow.
So I was just like, so God placed me with two good parents who I love to death. And of course, my dad passed away 11 years ago, but
Wow.
I miss him every day. Um, but my mom is still around, and I will tell you, you want to hear their voice as much as possible, because once they're gone, you try to remember that voice. I'm glad. I wish I would have kept some of my uh, phone recordings of my dad on the cell phone. When he leaves you a message,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've kept my mom's
Yeah.
in case something happened to her, but I never kept my dad, and I wish I could hear his voice again.
Wow, man. It's so crazy. And Brandy just said this she said, I was so proud of you. I meant right now, the moment between the two of you gave me God bumps. I love that. God bumps. Just seeing the full circle. Like the 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 pain and pleasure of placing a child for an open adoption, but knowing that someone that God put in my life, and we did not know this until today. We've known each other for like 2-3 years, and did not know until today that you came from Gladney, and that I don't even think I told you that I placed a child for open adoption.
Mm-hmm.
That is
So,
so crazy. Look at God. And now we're here together talking about mental health because, you know, identity is huge. And when you don't know who you are, because the world's either feeding you a bunch of who you should be, or, you grew up in a dysregulated home, and, the world's telling you to be one thing, and you got a diagnosis that says you're another thing, and you don't know whether you can just be yourself. Maybe you just need a counselor to connect with so that you can talk through that. And like, a lot of people have the stigma around therapy, and it's the best thing that I ever did for myself.
and all we can say is, for the people that are out there carrying things in their closet that don't want to carry them anymore, let a counselor stick it in their closet. Let them take them out of your closet so you can make more room in your life for new things.
Yeah.
Because as long as you're carrying around the old,
Yeah.
and your closet gets too full, then you kind of get to the point where, what am I going to do with all this? And you want to avoid that.
Greg, my closet is literally full. Like, my actual closet where I keep my clothes. And I got an extra closet in here. And that's metaphorical. I'm using guest rooms in my house closets.
I've
Um,
done that. I've done that.
and it's not just me, right? Like, we carry a lot of stuff, and I mean, how much do you think safety plays a part in this, right?
Well, safety. The, if you find out, if you feel like you have cancer, you're not just going to keep going with it, are you? I'm not. I didn't. I wanted to live again. I wanted to continue to live, so I went and had it checked out, and I went and had it diagnosed. My gosh. Um, I know physical aspects of life are different than mental aspects of life, but they're very connected. Your mental health can affect your physical health.
Yes. Yes. Greg, every time I get ready to do something that makes me anxious, even though I will not admit that I'm anxious, I'll say I'm excited because I'm trying to reframe it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it in my gut.
Well, we first got, we gotta think about it to put it in action.
Mm,
Then we got to physically do it. So it's very much connected.
jeez.
Behavior, mental health, physical behavior, physical aspects and mental behavior are intertwined.
Mm.
So, and I wanted to go back and address that 988. I think
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think 988 is great. I think it's great for an outlet, you know,
Yeah.
um, but it is a voice on the other end. I don't want to discourage anybody from calling 988 if they need it, because it is the mental health hotline. All right. But for a person to start feeling connected, they need to see that other face and that emotion.
Mm.
You know, phone calls are, we're used to having phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
But and we can talk to our loved ones, and we can, when I call, but when I turn on FaceTime and I see my mom, I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see my mom.
Yeah.
Just like a counselor and a client, I see you. I see, that connection happens.
Yeah. The telehealth is amazing. I'm
Yes.
surprised they waited so long to get it in. Like, we've had the technology for a long time. Why did they wait so long?
That's uh, that's a good question. Well, I want to invite everybody, to sign up for Counselor Connect. If you are a licensed professional, mental health professional, please sign up. Sign up for a free profile. Bring your clients. If you already have an existing practice on another platform and you want to give us a try, the most we're ever going to charge is $49 a month. And that gives you a lot of features, including the virtual aspect of it.
And that's for the counselors.
And that's for the counselors.
Okay. And if you know a counselor, if you have a counselor, if someone you know has those letters behind their names, uh, send them to Counselor Connect. Like, everyone could benefit from this, and everyone probably needs to benefit from this. I see no reason why not to sign up. We all need somebody to talk to. We all have those skeletons in our closet that we can't just share with anyone. And so,
And
yeah,
I want to stress, I would love to help other people needing mental health help, but I can't do it without society helping me.
hmm,
I mean, yes, we're writing grants,
hmm,
we're, you know, but a donation to Crisis Connect Alliance Incorporated would further the mission more, even if it's just $1.
hmm.
You
What
know,
about what about $50,000? Sorry, that's my number lately. If you got $50,000 laying around, this is a good cause.
oh my gosh, that would be like a blessing. I mean, like I don't know. I've never, I don't know how I'd react to $50,000 donation. I just want to use it to help other people. Oh, and I didn't tell you this, Greg. I want to, I don't just want to support people that can't afford mental health, but I want to support the new counselors that are graduating.
Now
I
that,
want to help them out. I want to
yeah,
help them. If they have a financial barrier that keeps them from taking their NCE, their national counseling exam, I want to help them.
man, that's noble. That's
If
that's
they're having
amazing.
a little bit of a struggle with paying their supervisor to get their hours, I want to help them.
Hmm.
But I can't do that without everybody else helping the foundation, the nonprofit.
Yeah, and that's crisisconnectalliance.org, or what was that?
Crisis Connect Alliance Incorporated. We're at www.crisisconnectalliance.org.
That's right. And it's funny. We met for the initial board meeting and didn't know who was going to be on the board for what. And I end up becoming the president of the Crisis Connect Alliance. Oh man. Yeah, it's such a needed thing right now. And I spent all of 2025. I started off, we all have that word that we have for the year. Like this year is going to be this word. And mine was 2025. It's live. I was going to go live with everything I did. No more pre-editing, no more pre-recording. And then I left my job to start a business, and then I froze and did nothing. And there was not really anyone I could talk to because everyone else I knew was either running a business or busy with kids or doing something. And so I watched I knew what it was like to talk myself into a position in life where I was where I wanted to be. And because I didn't address my mental health in the proper way, I talked myself right out of all those blessings. And so even if you just had someone to talk to that could reframe how you were talking or what you were saying or what your self-talk was, that's what this is. Guys, if you know me and you saw me this year struggling, or I text you and I was an energy vampire this year, Greg. I'm embarrassed, bro. But I don't want anyone. This is why we're having this conversation now for people to see. I don't want anyone to know what that feels like. That was miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what most people are dealing with is they are literally speaking a reality they don't want to live. They're reliving, like you mentioned, when you have to go through the trauma, they're reliving all of the things that they don't like and that they didn't want to even live through the first time, just to be able to tell someone else because they don't have anyone to leave that with. They don't have a safe place to drop that off. They don't have a closet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to put this out there and encourage people, whether you're watching now or you're watching on the replay, or you know someone that struggled like I did this year, and you want to send them to a place where they can connect with the right help, or you know someone that's amazing at helping and they just need to grow their practice, or they need another place where they can appear. Guys, help us connect the people. And if you've got some money laying around or you make a lot of money, I know a lot of people on my page that make a lot of money. If you need a tax write-off, this is the place to offload some of that money. I'm just saying. Greg, thank you for coming on here, man. Thank you for what you do for the community. And thank you for your heart and your spirit, man. This is amazing.
Well, Gregory, I want to thank you for having me. I want to thank you for helping me. And you're on my board, and I want to appreciate your time and your service as well.
I appreciate you. And I appreciate every one of you that tuned in live, every one of you that commented and left your thoughts. If you're watching on the replay, please let us know what stood out, or if you have any other thoughts, or if there's anything else or anyone else you want me to bring up here live to talk about their greater journey or what they're doing. And if you want to be a guest, listen, if you've been a guest and you don't see your podcast up yet, I'm so sorry. Editing is not easy. And even though I'm good at it and I can do it, it's the executive dysfunction with ADHD. Like once I sit down and start, I'm good. It's sitting down and starting. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to delegate to my son to help edit those other episodes, but enough excuses. I'm going to sit down and make it happen. It's not that you don't have the time, guys. It's that you don't make the time. So make the time for the things that matter. Brandy says she'll donate $20 if she's got the link. Okay.
Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Brandy. And, it's not my place to share that. Thank you so much, Brandy. Wow. So you've got your first donation today from showing up. And this is going to help. When you were saying you can't help unless they help the foundation, all I thought was, help me help you.
Well, isn't that kind of how it is? I mean, we take care of the people that take care of us.
That's it.
I mean
That's it.
so many employers and have forgotten how to take care of their own people, and that's why we see a lot of mass exoduses. And that's a whole nother story.
Man, that if you've not read Start With Why by Simon Sinek, I pulled it off my shelf just curious and wanting to reread some pages, and I just opened it randomly to the chapter. I think it was chapter 12, where they talk about where Walmart went wrong. They forgot why they were doing what they were doing, and they started shifting, and then you saw all the lawsuits, you saw all the problems.
Mm-hmm.
So start with why, continue with why, stick with why. It's the why that moves you. Thank you, Brandy. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm looking forward to those questions. I'm looking forward to, who you want me to bring on next. What stuck out to you? Some notable quotables, as my friend Rebecca said yesterday. She's got notable quotables. I love that. So if you found some notable quotables, put them down there, and we'll probably put them on a t-shirt. Greg, anything else you wanna mention before we end the stream, man?
No. Donate, connect, and let me know if you need anything. You can get a hold of me through my website at www.mentalverificationtechnologies. Send me an email.
Perfect. So Greg at mentalhealthverificationtechnologies.com.
.net.
.net.
Mentalverificationtechnologies.net.
Okay.
You can Google us. We come up in the Google.
We're on the Googles.
We're on the Google.
All right, man. Thank you all for tuning in. Greg, thank you for coming. We'll talk offline, but I'm going to end the stream here. Guys, go be greater. That's it. Go be greater.